Today I'm gonna go over the different parts of this rear differential and give like a brief explanation of how it works. So I'm gonna start. I've already removed the cover, and this is what it looks like when it's in here. So I'm gonna take it out now. Okay, now we remove these bearing straps on each side here and here. Now these are your bearing races, and there's shims on each side that help you set your backlash between your ring gear here and your pinion, which you can see down in the bottom. So that helps you with your wear pattern on your teeth. And there's also shims down there on your pinion that set pinion depth, you know, obviously. So now I'm going to take it out the way you just pull this guy straight up, and it will all come out. Okay, I got to go ahead and before I can pull this rear diff out, I got to take the axle shafts out. And to do that, there was a bolt here I had to loosen up so that I can take out this stud, pull it up a little bit, so then I can push the axle shaft in. I'm going to push it in, and there's going to be a clip right there that I'm going to have to remove. It's basically like a little C-clip, no tension on it, it's just sitting in there. And there it is. And after that, you can just pull the axle shaft straight out, which I'm doing. So just pull it all the way out. And pull the other one out. Now this one was missing that C-clip. So now I should just be able to pull this straight up, and it does. Now be careful, those bearing races are going to want to fall off, and those shims are going to want to move around. Alright, bring your diff over to the table. Now see, these are the shims that I was talking about that help you set your backlash and your race. This is your bearing race. It's kind of tapered in there. Just sits in there like that. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these out. Set them in order so I can get them and don't lose track of them. It's for the other side. Bam. And down there's your pinion. This is a hypoid type setup. So what that means is that this pinion is below the center line of the ring gear or a crown gear, and this goes by splash lubrication. So what it does when this thing is spinning, the crown gear spins, you know, it shoves oil down in there, in that hole, and that thing's just basically like a loop, and it comes out over there. So what it does, oil goes on here and it splashes out here, and it lubricates everything in here, you know, as it's turning, going down the road. Now I'm gonna go ahead so I was saying, this is your ring gear. The outside portion is called your heel or appendum. The inside is the toe part of the tooth, or also called the dependum. And this is the outside curved portion. Is called it's the drive side of the tooth. So when you're actually like accelerating or, you know, keeping a constant speed, the pinion gear is actually pushing this way on the tooth. And if you're on coast, when you take your foot off the throttle, you just, you know, going down the hill, and the part of the tooth that's getting contact with the pinion is actually this side of the tube here. So let me see if you can kind of see. You can kind of see the wear pattern in here. It's kind of centered, which is pretty good. It's like pretty much in the center, which means pinion depth is set correct. Pinion depth affects whether it goes, you know, this way and this way. And it would show like one corner on one side, and then on the coast side, it would be the direct opposite. You know, if your pinion depth was too far in or out. And the backlash, which is what those shims help you with, affect, you know, if you're wearing out this top land of the tooth here, then your backlash would have to be adjusted, you know, in or out, or side to side rather. Okay, in here, these are your side gears right here. This one and this one is your side gear, and these are your spider gears. These are your spider gears. This one and this one is a spider gear. Now, the axle shafts come in, you know, through here, one on each side, and inside they're splined in there, and that's what gives power to your axle shaft, which in turn gives power to your wheel. And the way this works, you know, that stud would go in here and keep these from falling out. But right now I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to take out the spider gear. So I've taken it out, and there's like this washer on there that helps with lubrication. It creates just like a thin layer of oil gets in there, and it helps it spin better so it doesn't get hung up on anything. And if I rotate this side gear, that other spider gear would come right out exactly the same. It would come out exactly the same. So what you got to do is put it back in. You just put it in direct opposite. Make sure the teeth, you know, are meshed good. And then you can just spin it. It's kind of tough. Sometimes it falls out. Alright, my other one, that little washer fell off, so I'm going to turn off the video and fix it, and then I'll bring it right back. Okay, I went ahead and took out my other spider gear so I could fix this washer on the back. Is the one that fell off. It got hung up in there. So once I did that, the side gear falls right out. Just like that. And those are those splines that I was talking about. The spline to the axle shaft. That's your side gear. And your other side gear just comes out the same way. You just pull it straight up. You just turn it over and it falls right out. Same thing. There's also a little washer right there. Helps reduce friction on it. And that's pretty much it. I mean, these are your bearings, your ring gear, bolts onto your carrier here, and that's it. Now I'm going to put it all back together, reverse order, and slide back in. Okay, something I forgot to say is the gear ratio back here is 11 to 41. It says right there on the ring gear, stamped right into it. But if yours don't have that, you know, all you got to do is just mark one of these teeth. I just use a soapstone. Just mark one real good so you don't lose track of it. And then all you got to do is just spin your pinion down here so it turns, and then just count the teeth all the way around till you get back to here. And I already did that off camera. And there's 41 teeth on this ring gear, and that 11, the 11 on the 40 to 41 tells you how many teeth are on the pinion down there. And basically you just do the same thing. You mark one of the teeth, you spin them as you count them, and that mark lets you know where you started and stopped at. So that's your gear ratio back here on this one, 11 to 41.